Hi everyone. Today I'll cover To A Skylark by P.B. Shelley. It is the second part in which I'll cover its remaining 9 stanzas. The first 12 stanzas I have already covered in its previous video. If you haven't watched it, I'll link it in the description box. You can check it out from there. Let's start reading. Teach us, spirited bird, what sweet thoughts are thine. I have never heard praise of love or wine, that panted forth a flood of rapture so divine. The poet here requests the skylark to teach him those thoughts which are the basis of its sweet music. He requests the bird to teach him its sweet thoughts. Even the best songs of love and wine cannot be so sweet as those of the skylark. They cannot approach its songs in the expression of ecstatic joy. Chorus hymnal or triumphal chant, matched with thine would be all but an empty want, a thing wherein we feel there is some hidden want. Here the poet says even the best type of song sung on the occasion of marriage and victory are not as melodious as the song of skylark. Compared to the rapturous song of the skylark, those songs seem to be an empty chatter, because in them we feel that something is lacking, which is not the case with the song of the skylark. What objects are the fountains of thy happy strain? What fields or waves or mountains? What shapes of sky or plain? What love of thine own kind? What ignorance of pain? Now the poet asks the skylark that what are the sources of its sweet song? What kind of fields, waves, or mountains provide inspiration for such sweet songs? What shape of the sky or the plain gives it a special inspiration to sing? Whether is it the love of its own species, or is it the complete unconsciousness of the misery that surrounds the world? With thy clear keen joyance languor cannot be, shadow of annoyance never came near thee. Thou lovest, but never knew love's sad satiety. The poet feels that the kind of acute joy that the skylark seems to enjoy, it cannot be touched by any kind of sadness, as it is the case with the human beings, whose happiness is always mixed with some type of misery. The skylark does not experience such annoyance even in the least degree, according to the poet. Here, Shelley is comparing the skylark with people in general who are never completely happy and are often annoyed on account of the obstacles which come in their love. And though in love they soon reach a point of satiety, but the happiness of love is soon turned into misery. Waking or asleep, thou of death must deem things more true and deep than we mortals dream, or how could thy notes flow in such a crystal stream? Another cause of misery of mankind is the fear of death, which is all the time hovering over their head and makes their lives miserable. Shelley thinks that the reason behind the happiness of the skylark, which gives birth to her rapturous song, must be due to her deeper and truer knowledge that it possesses regarding the nature of death, which is denied to mankind. That is why the skylark enjoys complete happiness, which mankind cannot experience. We look before and after and pine for what is not. Our sincerest laughter with some pain is fraught. Our sweetest songs are those that tell of saddest thought. This is the most remarkable and memorable stanza of this poem. Here the poet contrasts the skylark with people who are always discontented. They are never satisfied with their present, so they are either looking back to the time which is gone forever or are looking forward for the future. Instead of being satisfied with what they possess, They are all the time wailing and weeping for what they lack. Even when they seem to be laughing most sincerely, there is some pain which is hidden behind that laughter. That is why the sweetest songs of mankind are the tragic songs which give expression to the saddest thoughts. Yet if we could scorn hate and pride and fear, if we were things born not to shed a tear, I know not how thy joy we ever should come near. Now the poet analyzes, that what could be the possible reasons behind the misery of mankind. He comes to the conclusion that the possible reasons could be hate, pride, fear, and sorrow. If people could somehow get rid of these, as the skylark seems to have done, they would be in a position to reach somewhat near to the skylark in point of happiness. According to Shelley, the skylark enjoys this happiness because it is free from hatred, pride, or fear of any kind. If people can also throw away these evil tendencies from their temperament, they would also attain real happiness. Better than all measures of delightful sound, better than all treasures that in books are found, thy skill to poet were, thou scorner of the ground. The poet feels that he can learn more from the skylark, which has no love for worldly objects, and therefore probably keeps itself away from the earth. He has more to learn from the bird than he can learn from the most delightful tunes produced by musicians, or from the lofty thoughts contained in great books. The skylark, who possesses real musical skills, is the ideal teacher for the poet who wants to learn to write rapturous lyrics. Teach me half the gladness that thy brain must know. Such harmonious madness from my lips would flow. The world should listen then, as I am listening now. In the last stanza, the poet assures the skylark that if it teaches him even half happiness that it experiences, he would be able to produce such rapturous song that the whole world would listen to him with great attention as he is listening at present to the song of the skylark. He believes that the poet must be completely happy, untouched by any sorrow. Only then he can produce real poetry. It is the pure and clean life that the skylark lives which is responsible for its sweet music, which surpasses every other type of natural phenomenon. That's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the explanation. If you have any questions, please write it in the comment box. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.